In this episode of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory, we'll look at the Canes Venatici and Ursa Major regions and show you how to find these beautiful deep sky objects. Messier 106, the Pinwheel Galaxy, and the Whirlpool Galaxy. All right, let's go star hopping. Hey, hello, hi, and welcome to episode 16 of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory. I'm Dave Hearn, and I'm absolutely energized to be your host. In this series of programs, we'll show you the most beautiful sights in the night sky and explain exactly how to find them with your binoculars or your telescope. So we're back to locating deep sky objects this week after our Star Hopping Extra last time, where we learned about the different types of galaxies. Good thing, because as promised, we'll be looking at galaxies for several weeks going forward. There might be a globular cluster or two thrown in for good measure. In this episode, we're looking at 3 spiral galaxies, one tilted from our perspective, and the last 2 we view as face-on spirals. I do need to say that these 3 targets are viewed best after midnight during this time of January to really allow them to get some altitude so we can see them better. Over the next several months, they'll be climbing closer to the zenith, and as I mentioned last week, with galaxies and mostly all deep sky objects, the higher, the better. So don't forget to revisit these galactic beauties in your observing session in the coming months. So we'll leave the most famous 2 galaxies for last, but our first target is no slouch. Messier 106 is one of the largest and brightest spirals in the sky, located in the constellation of Canes Venatici, the hunting dogs. M106 is a large, massive type SB spiral system with a tightly wound structure tilted 25 degrees to our line of sight. Remember, as we discussed last week, the SB designation specifies that the spiral arms are tightly wound around the core. The 25-degree tilt explains why this galaxy's dust lanes are so prominent. They form a spiral pattern which can be traced the whole way back to its bright central core. M106 was a very late addition to the Messier list, only being added in 1947. To locate M106, we have a few fainter stars in our star hop, so it's a medium difficulty hop. We'll be starting on the 2nd magnitude star Vecta and the 3rd magnitude star Megrez in the bowl of the Big Dipper within Ursa Major. Megrez is the star that connects the handle to the bowl of the Big Dipper. Imagine a right triangle with the hypotenuse formed between Megrez and Vecta. Near the 3rd point at the right angle, you'll see a 6th magnitude star. That's the first move. As you start moving downward, you'll pass very close to M109, another spiral galaxy, but it's pretty faint at magnitude 9.6. Just below, about a ½ degree to the right, is a 2nd 6th magnitude star. Now we'll move across the border into Canes Venatici. Move about 2 degrees to the lower right to 4th magnitude 5 Canes Venaticorum. Now move about 3 degrees to the right and slightly upward to 3 Canes Venaticorum. Okay, last move. Slide to the right about 2 degrees and you'll see the large hazy oval of Messier 106 coming into view. M106 has one large hooked spiral arm that tends to show up in astrophotos well, like this one from KPO. Can you see it visually? This relatively bright galaxy shines at magnitude 8.4 and is over a ¼ degree in size for its long axis, about half the size of the full moon. Additionally, there are several small galaxies in the vicinity which you might pick up if you scan around a bit. Okay, as promised, on to the 2 even more famous galaxies. The first is the grand design spiral Messier 101, also known as the Pinwheel Galaxy. We talked about this galaxy last week. As we mentioned, a grand design spiral is a face-on spiral galaxy that has long spiral arms that consistently wrap around the core. This is definitely the case with this mind-blowing galaxy, found just off the handle of the Big Dipper in Ursa Major. The pinwheel is bright, shining at magnitude 7.9, with a diameter just less than the full moon at 28 arc minutes. With such a large diameter, one would expect to easily find this target, but the light from this spiral is spread across a large area, which gives us a low surface brightness. We saw a similar condition with the Helix Nebula in Aquarius back in episode 5, where a deep sky object can become easy to miss when it has a large apparent size. But don't worry, this is a fairly obvious star hop, so if you have a reasonably dark sky, you'll see this denizen of the deep sky. Okay, let's hunt a grand design spiral. We're starting with a special treat though. The second star in the handle of the Big Dipper is called Messier, which will be our starting point. If you have good eyes, you'll be able to see with your naked eye a second star very close to Messier. This is Alcor, and it lies within 3 light years of Messier. Astronomers feel that this is probably too far to have any gravitational interactions, so they're not a true double star. However, Messier itself is a double star. In fact, it has the distinction of being the first double star to ever be discovered with a telescope. So before we move anywhere, pop in a high power eyepiece and you'll see the double Messier and its close companion Alcor. Actually 3 stars where you started out seeing just one. But I digress. Onward to the Pinwheel Galaxy. Put your low power eyepiece back again because you'll need a wide field. From Alcor, move about 1.5 degrees to the lower left to 5th magnitude 81 Ursa Majoris. Now move about 1 degree downward and slightly to the right to 4th magnitude 83 Ursa Majoris. Now make a quick 1/2 degree jump downward to 5th magnitude 84 Ursa Majoris. Another degree downward, you'll find 5th magnitude 86 Ursa Majoris. We're right on top of M101. Move about 1 degree to the lower left, passing a 7th magnitude star about halfway, and you'll see the sky brighten in a large area. This is the circular glow of the face-on spiral Messier 101. This is another fun test of your deep sky vision. See if you can determine the direction of the rotation of the spiral arms. Then look at a picture and find out if you can see these fine details. Again, at midnight on January 22nd, this target is only 19 degrees up. So if you find it to be difficult then, break out the coffee and wait an hour or 2 before trying again. Okay, let's move on, leaving the best for last, to one of my most favorite deep sky objects. I like it so much, I featured it in our star hopping logo, Messier 51, or the famous Whirlpool Galaxy in the constellation of Canes Venatici. It's one of the most conspicuous and best known spiral galaxies in the sky. M51 is actually interacting with its much smaller neighbor, NGC 5195. The 2 galaxies may be seen in binoculars under very dark skies. So this is a short 2-star hop, so it's considered easy. We'll be starting at the end star in the handle of the Big Dipper, 2nd magnitude Alcade. From Alcade, about 2 degrees to the upper right, you'll see 4th magnitude 24 Canes Venatici. Now move 2 degrees to the right, and you should run into 2 smudges of light very close to one another. This is the famous Whirlpool Galaxy. One of my favorite tests that I do with my fellow observers is to look for the connecting arm between M51 and NGC 5195. Under excellent conditions, you can see the faint line of stars being pulled from M51's companion galaxy. Try out multiple eyepieces and use averted vision to pull out faint details. I never tire at looking at this one, especially in a really large telescope. I've seen the Whirlpool in a 36-inch telescope at the Winter Star Party in the Florida Keys, and the spiral structure, the direction of rotation, and the complete connecting arm were all visible without using averted vision. You could look straight at it, all from the top of a 12-foot ladder looking through this monster of a telescope. If you ever have a chance to attend the Winter Star Party, you should make an effort. It is a great time with a wonderful group of amateur astronomers. Okay, let's review. We've started our survey of galaxies with a bang. We first checked out the large and bright spiral Messier 106 in Canes Venatici. Then we moved just off the handle of the Big Dipper to see the gorgeous grand design spiral Messier 101, also known as the Pinwheel Galaxy. And finally we moved to the other side of the handle of the Big Dipper, back into Canes Venatici to find the famous Whirlpool Galaxy and its companion NGC 5195.
I hope you've enjoyed star hopping around the Milky Way. These videos are designed to help you find deep sky objects that are up in the sky at the time we post them on social media. I create these videos to help everyone learn the sky and get more enjoyment out of their telescopes and astronomy in general. Don't miss my free field notes for this episode, basically the script of the show, with all the images and star charts we use for our star hopping activities. You can get them for free at starhopping.org/digitalstore/field-notes. If this is the first time you're checking out star hopping, and if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, click the thumbs up on the video, and please share this tutorial out to your friends who like looking at stars. Please feel free to leave any questions or comments, and we will be sure to respond quickly. We'd love to hear from you to discuss all this great stuff up in the sky. Also, please follow me on X at StarHoppingMan and on Facebook, where I post announcements about these episodes and share all of our astro photos and keep everyone informed about upcoming astronomical events. Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory.